What's up, everybody? I'm Mika Simone, the 6'2 diva from West Covina, here for another episode of Welcome to My House with Comedy Hype, the newest star of NBC's #1 show right now, Marlon, Miss Bresha Webb. Getting glammed up by her glam squad.
Listen, I got a lot of things going on, and so I'm so happy you guys are able to make it out, and I'm leaving tomorrow to Atlanta to do night school, so thank you so much for coming.
So the series is called Welcome to My House, and you've welcomed us into your home. And I'm just loving your artwork.
You gotta bring Jesus.
Okay. I see faith in the bag.
Amen.
I see other things around here.
I just everything's gonna be different, so I'm glad you're taking in a little snapshot. Everything's gonna be different very soon.
Okay.
So I'm gonna take a snapshot. I'll look at this in remembrance.
Yeah, because we got the beautiful shots we got the beautiful artistic women. We got, women, huh?
Yeah, well, I was raised around very strong women. Like I was just saying a little bit before, my mom is a Delta, so I was just raised around very strong women. Dorothy Dandridge,
Yes.
watching her, I watched the biopic that Halle Berry did, and I loved it. I loved the singing and dancing. When I look at Josephine Baker, and now I'm friends with Lynn Whitfield, and I know what she brought to that. It's just, I want to be like women like that.
And you're already doing it, can we say?
I know, but I have somewhere to grow.
Always room to grow.
Always room to grow. I grew up singing and dancing, so those type of women that are multifaceted in that way inspire me. So I just always have pictures of that in my bathroom. It's just all women that inspire me, so I'm always speaking that into myself.
So the dynamic of Marlon is the divorce situation, but they're still friends.
Yeah.
And it kind of feels like, even I look at for Essence Atkins' character to be able to still date, and Marlon's always there. You know what I mean?
Marlon was dating.
Oh, of course, the man gonna do what he do, but as a woman, we always, take on that role of the home, especially staying strong and having to work and be an example for our kids.
Yeah.
As opposed to the man, it's like, this is what a man does. So I love the
And it's powerful
aspect.
to see a woman owning her sensuality, her sexuality, and having a new claim on life, and being a single mom, and still having the support of her ex-husband.
Yeah.
I feel like that's and that should be more of the conversation that's
an example.
Women, it's an example,
A great one.
And that's what Marlon is to his ex right now. They care and they put the family first, their kids first, with having everything in respect and boundaries. But they're friends.
Yeah.
And I think it's, a lot of people can relate to that now because it's not as traditional as it used to be. People aren't, it's just the way things are nowadays.
We don't have to, you can still be friends even though we're not together. We're
absolutely.
not together.
And then I come a part of the village. I play Essence Atkins, Ashley's best friend, Yvette, who is the single, crazy, also getting too much in everyone's business and doesn't have her shit together type of friend, which is me in my real life. All of my friends have kids, they're married. It does mirror real life situations for all of us. Essence is going through a real divorce right now, so it's real. You
guys are bringing home into work.
Yes,
definitely.
Oh yes.
How are y'all using each other to get through the times of whether it's breakups, divorcing, new jobs, losing jobs?
Yes, the thing about it is that we're all really close.
Okay.
Diallo and Diallo and I, who play Stevie, were friends before the show. I was actually on his show. He's a writer.
Yeah.
And I was on Brothers in Atlanta. That was for HBO. That was being directed by Tim Story and some other, really amazing people. His writer Bashir. So we were already friends and we had already worked together, and so it was just hilarious that we were working together on this show. And Essence and I, when we met, it was just kind of friends at first sight. Marlon and I have been friends. He's been a bro to myself, just doing stand-up from time to time, and him knowing me. We've just all really been really good friends before, and so that comes offset. And so you know, we are all in a text conversation throughout the day, and so all of that plays into each other. We all know where we all are at every moment of the day, you know. So it's awesome. So
I love the concept of your character, like you said, that's the best friend who don't have her shit together, but I'm pretty sure she has the best advice out there.
You know, it's so funny because I wanted to have her pop. You know, they had me come in and read for her, and you know, since I'm friends with Marlon, I text him, you know, and I said, hey, I'm coming in for your show, and you know, I was on a BC show, Truth Be Told, last season, and I was like heartbroken that got canceled, but you know, they had in the back of their minds this role for me, and so they were like, Bresha, we really want to make this work for you, and come in and bring us something. And so when I told him I was coming in for it, I texted him, and he was like, just go in there and kill it. And I was like, okay, what does that mean? He was like, I want you to be a part of us. And I was like, cool. So I came up with this character, and I shared it with a couple of people, and they were like, what? But I'm kind of crazy myself, but I always just try to get inspiration from people. So for Yvette, I brought Jack K. Harris from 227, and then I made her a part of our generation with K. Michelle. And the mixture of those is Yvette. Because Yvette is fabulous. She's so involved in everything. More extravagant than I am, kind of, sort of, and trashier. Not to say that K. Michelle and Jack K. Harris from 227 aren't. But, or I'm not going to say anything to get myself in trouble, because K. Michelle will tweet me. And we will be in a tweet war because she's about that life.
Yes, she is.
But I have looked at her reality shows. And she's just given me a touch of Yvette. And so when I saw her, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna bring a little bit of that crazy that they both had, and that are quite iconic. You know, she could bust out in the song at any poem, at any moment. You know, and I just brought that to Yvette, and they said yes.
Yeah, because I see that you went to the Baltimore School of
the Arts.
It's such a famous high school. Even Tupac,
Jada Pinkett Smith. You know, so many people went there. It was excellent, you know.
Were there like any staff or any Tupac stories that still went around there?
Well, my dean of my theater school, Donald Hicken, who is now retired, he's like my godfather.
Okay.
He was the first person that actually said you belong on TV. And he kept my picture, Jada's, and Tupac on his desk. And he has 1,000 students, but you know, it's 50.
I made it just 3 8x10s in my mind.
But he had everybody's picture on their wall. But he had a special place in my heart because he really saw my passion. And he always wanted me, you know, he taught me, you know, and he was just like, be yourself and be confident, and you know, and it really helped me, you know. I was already in school and acting and stuff, but you know, they would come to our school. We had so many talented people in our school that they would cast The Wire out of my high school.
Wow.
You know, I was too Disney. You know, I looked 5 forever. So they were like, you are just something special, but not for The Wire. I'm like, really? No? Not for The Wire?
Not for The Wire.
Not for The Wire.
So you decided to move to LA to go to college.
Well, I didn't have a choice. My daddy said I had to get a degree. That was the only way I was getting out here.
And that was the only way you were going to come this way. And then you chose to go and to still continue in the arts as you were.
Yeah, when at my graduation day, I invited them to my apartment.
That's awesome.
That wasn't the plan.
And your graduation day, you invited them to your apartment?
Yeah, my apartment in Hollywood.
And they don't, why? What do you mean that wasn't the plan?
I was living on campus. They thought I was coming home.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so I was like, I want to take you guys somewhere. And it was my empty apartment.
And I'm staying here.
And I'm staying here.
Is that when you decided, okay, I know you like said getting checks as you were auditioning throughout high school, but coming out here, that was like, okay, now I'm going to take this serious.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, you're not really, I went to a conservatory, so I wasn't able to audition for anything outside of school. You know, they don't like that. But while my mom was here, she said, I'll stay here for a week. And, you know, they got me my bedroom set. Thanks, Mom and Dad. And by that first week, I had an agent, and I booked my first gig. My first audition I booked. And so praise God, because that was my mother's prayers, honey, because she was like, I'm not leaving my daughter here without no money. You know?
Right. I've been reading like Kevin Hart's book lately.
Yes.
I can't make this up. And one of the things he says is like going through the different trials and tribulations through life. He had like a shoulder shrug mentality to things. Reading his book, it's like I didn't know a lot of the struggles.
I was in his pilot. I was in his pilot for ABC about 4 years ago. Didn't get picked up, but it was the first time that we really got to work with each other, which was something on my bucket list for years. I, was doing stand-up. Like right after Love That Girl, I started doing stand-up because Martin Lawrence and Bentley Kyle Evans was like, listen, you're funny, why not? That was never.
And when they tell you,
yeah, you gotta listen. That's legacy.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't something I had already. I thought I was gonna be like a Angela Bassett type of actress. I was just like, hey, I just want to be working and supporting myself. I never saw myself as a comedian type of woman. So that just created a whole new title for me. But knowing him and seeing him on stage, I was like, I want to work with him. And so when I booked his pilot, he started telling me, he was like, our show didn't get picked up. It was funny. I was the lead, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. But then it just was my first step into realizing that things might not go the way that you want it to. And it was on ABC. It could have taken my career in a whole nother different direction, possibly. And I met Romney Malco, like we were love interests. That's kind of hilarious. But it was the first step of learning how things might start off one way, and then the Hollywood or the people that say that no, maybe not, and then Blackish gets on. But through that testimony, Kevin started telling me about his story and how he had a pilot, and they went all the way to New York to celebrate. And as he was about to walk on stage to announce the show that had already been picked up, and they said yes to, they told him to stop, and they told him that they weren't picking it up, and they were going to pick up another show
and walk them
and
right
past him. Right. And so
I was like, wow,
that's the business that you're part of. You can't get married to anything. You have to keep going. Black Girl Magic.
Black Girl Magic hashtag is just, it's grasping to the point. Have you seen the viral video that came out of the little white girl eating her peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
I love her. She said, we've already talked about that.
I want to be a black policewoman rapper. And I just thought that was awesome, because I remember for myself being a little black girl and the different options that, like you said, now we have so many iconic people that gave us examples of ourselves to see our face, where we might have even wanted to be white sometimes as black kids. Look how the tables have turned. Yeah. It's just Black Girl Magic going all the way through right now.
But you just have so many representations. You have Janelle Monáe, who I think is just beautiful. You have so many expressions and so many different type of women. Before it was just one type. You got Taraji, who's my Black Girl Magic, with Regina Hall.
Okay, so that was,
and I love Regina Hall because she's funny and she's a friend of mine.
Yeah.
And I never thought we would be friends because she's so funny. I love her. And then you have shows like movies like Black Girls Trip. That that's Tiffany Haddish, awesome. Who is also Black Girl Magic. I love my Tiffany. And I'm just so proud of what we have become as women in this industry, black women in this industry.
I think, what advice would you give to people in like ideas where they feel like they can't do any better? They may see a Bresha but don't know how to become Bresha. What advice would you give, despite what's going on around you, to still push forward?
Nothing is a setback. Everything that has happened in your life is on purpose, and that will make you into your better self. Follow your passion and whatever that is. When I talk to younger students, like when they're in first grade or second grade, I always ask, what do you want to be when you grow up? And most of the time, when they answer that as honestly as possible, that's what they have fun doing. And that's what they dream of themselves doing. I say, go back to that. What makes you happy? you know, when you hear success stories like Tiffany Haddish, and she says that the first thing that she ever saw was stand-up comedy, and that helped her through her, you know, her moment in getting through, you know, so much of her baggage that she had been dealing with, foster care and, you know, family hardships and things like that. She loved the act of making people laugh. And she loved the sound of laughter, you know, and so I say go to that, you know, you know, just making people smile and giggle. That was the thing that made me, you know, being able to affect people, whether it was in drama or comedy or whatever, making people just escape for 5 minutes if need be, and just be lifted into another place. That gave me joy, you know, so I would just, you know, inspire the students to think about what gives them joy. And if they can honestly answer that, whether it is something in the arts, whether it is something that you might not even know of, to just, you know, be completely well-rounded, to know what gives you joy, you know, and not compare yourself to anybody, and take your life as not a step back, but as a step forward, you know, because so many people think it, you know, because this is happening to me, this is what I'm, and I'm like, it's not even that. It actually makes you ahead of everyone else. It's your gift.
If you use it.
If you use it in the correct way.
If you use it in the correct
way. Everyone has a purpose here, so what's your purpose?
You work with a lot of comedic entities anyways, and you're a comedian yourself. We just had the Def Jam.
Oh, you were there. It was so funny. They had this part with Dave Chappelle and D.L. Hughley. Oh my God. And talk about something. They both talked about how they can't read.
What?
Yeah, well, they went to public school.
Okay.
And they, you know, D.L. Hughley talks about being dyslexic.
Yes, he does.
And Dave Chappelle opened up about how he's not dyslexic, he just doesn't like to read out loud. And I found so much joy in it because all of these comedians are so like, and just artists, like we just think differently. And I wish I could say this to my younger self. You know, it's like, maybe you don't learn like everyone else. You know, maybe you don't conceptualize things like everyone else, but that is your gift. And look at these amazing, iconic people who don't learn the right way, conventionally, but they're brilliant. And they took this one thing of just reading the teleprompter, and it became the most hilarious thing of the whole night. And you're around these whole different characters, and they're all very different, and they all have these quirks and things about them that make them brilliant. And so it's like, what's that one thing that you think is just so awful about you, and you're not really happy about talking about it, and but that's what makes you brilliant. Right. And that's what I love about just being in the arts.
Bresha in Hollywood. Okay. Dating in Hollywood.
Oh God. Oh God.
I know it can be difficult. Some people, you make it seem like it's pieces of cake. Some, you know, a lot of these mega stars with John Legend and Chrissy, and you know, even Bay and Jay, even through cheating and stuff like that, still
we're praying for
keep it together. But what advice do you give, or why do you think it is so hard to date in Hollywood? I mean, I know it's the women, but if we say we want to be in relationships, why are we claiming relationships?
I want to be in the right relationship. So that's a different. I'm not about relationship. I just got out of a relationship, so I'm taking my time to just enjoy me, get to know me, and know for real what I want, and be in the right relationship. You know, because you grow in different seasons, and you know, I'm in Hollywood, but I'm not very Hollywood. Okay. So I have to protect my heart sometimes, because you know, I just deal with, you know, just real people sometimes, and sometimes they don't know how to react. And I think that's the thing about being in the industry. You know, we just do this as our profession. And some people say they can hang with us. Really, they don't really know how to adapt and to maintain with us.
You working,
and sometimes it doesn't give you the place. You know, I'm leaving tomorrow, and then I'm back, and then I might be leaving. I don't know what's going on. You know, you want to schedule a date with me, I don't know what tomorrow brings. Right. You know, so it's not an easy, or, you know, so people have to be with people in the industry because they can understand that. But, you know, I didn't come all the way out here to be in a relationship. I came out here to be Bresha Webb.
Okay.
So, I mean, relationships are cool, but I'm not trying to have that be my whole life. I have a life. I would love to have children and get married, but I totally understand as well if that's not, what God wants for me. If there's a relationship that comes, cool, but if not, I got to be cool with just me. And I think that's where a lot of women in this industry are. We have to be bosses. And a lot of men, sadly, don't know.
I'm trying to be the boss no more.
So if it's not about my peace, I'm not going to entertain it.
Right.
Okay? My peace got to be all right.
Well, congratulations on all the success.
Thank you.
I know more and more and more is going to keep coming for you and keep coming for you. We have to come back when you redo this.
It's going to be chandeliers and crystals everywhere. But it's cool right now. It's very warm and cozy, but I just feel a new coming on. I just want to make it so much more girly.
Because you working, and them checks gonna come.
Hallelujah. So, I want a chandelier there. I want purple and velvet and everything. So it'll be different when you guys come back. But thank you for coming.
Thanks for having
us. It's a nice place. God has been blessing. Maybe it'll be a new spot too. I don't know.
This will be when you get another spot.
Yeah,
I'm still gonna keep that one too.
Because won't he do it? He'll do that for you too. Amen.
Thanks for sitting with us, honey.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thanks, Reggie. Thanks, Comedy Hype. I read y'all posts.
Yay.